Most Notion builds fail before a single database gets created, not because the system was bad, but because the person building it skipped a step. I've built Notion systems for dozens of creative teams, and the project that taught me this, I delivered exactly what the client asked for. But it was still wrong. This video includes that step. The week before the build that nobody talks about, and the reason everything after it either works or falls apart. Here's what usually happens. Something's broken, operations are messy, the team gets frustrated, and the instinct is fix it now, fast. There's a template for it, there's a tutorial for it, but when your team is waiting, starting to build feels like the responsible thing to do. But here's where it splits. When you're building for yourself, you have space. You're exploring. If it breaks, you're the only one affected. But when you're building for your team, it's a little different. Your choices shape how other people work. The manager needs project visibility. The person actually doing the work needs to focus on what actually matters to them and their craft. They have different needs. They're both counting on the system to work and support their role. And that's a completely different kind of building. And most people treat it like it's the same. So I had a client, we had a tight timeline, capacity dashboard that we were building together. And the plan was simple. Build it first, and then we'll do discovery after. So I delivered on time, and it looked right from my perspective. When I was running a routine mapping session, checking exactly how the team was actually using all of the things that we had built, it fell apart during the delivery because what I was shipping wasn't quite landing, and it wasn't a feature. The dashboard just didn't connect for how the team actually worked. And when we did discovery after the fact, it didn't fill in the gaps. It made the whole first phase that we had done and what I had built kind of arbitrary. I knew before I started that we should have done this in the other order. I built exactly what they asked for. And it wasn't wrong, it was just kind of empty. Because I hadn't earned the context that made it matter. That project cost me weeks, but it taught me something I've never ignored since. And it starts with something most people wouldn't even recognize as work. What discovery actually looks like. Here's how I think about it. I spent a year studying type design, learning how letter forms are built from the ground up through the Type at Cooper West program. Before you design a single letter, you define the properties of the typeface. Weight, width, slant, contrast, and you're not even drawing yet. You're deciding what every letter would share. And those decisions make the typeface feel like a single voice instead of 26 random shapes. And if you skip it, every glyph is a guess. When you define them, the execution of all the letters flow. And discovery is the same thing. Before I touch a single database, I define the properties of the whole system. How does this team actually work? What do they need to see? What's getting lost? Where's the friction nobody's named yet? Because once those properties are set, everything can connect. The same way letters connect into words when they share a rhythm. Let me show you what developing a rhythm looked like for one team. I worked with this hospitality creative brand agency. They were based out of LA, and there were about 30, 40 people on the team. They found me through the Notion marketplace, and the first conversation made it very clear that the growth was outpacing the organization. Things were moving fast, and nothing was holding it together. They were honest about the timeline. This wasn't a 3-month engagement, so they needed momentum quickly. And the team was growing, and they couldn't wait for anyone. So I'm on the first call, and I'm hearing all of this information: tasks, clients, projects, calendars, reminders, documents, all at once, all the things. But here's the thing. While I'm listening, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm receiving, I'm grouping all of the things. All these 12 things start collapsing into 2 or 3 primary root systems. That's when I get excited, because patterns mean this is solvable. And then the surprises start. First, this isn't a cleanup. They haven't outgrown a system. They've never technically had one. We needed to install the thing that keeps the team moving. Second, the founder wasn't looking to become a Notion power user. This is typically what some people like to learn on the way, but he said that almost exactly. He knew he wasn't going to be the expert, and he didn't want to be that. He wanted relief just for himself and the team. Somebody to come in and make the chaos stop. The third thing, they were already thinking about automation. They wanted the systems to run itself. But I knew that we had to earn that. The foundation needed to come first. Even with all of those surprises on the table, we didn't need to solve everything right away. If we focus on a single area and get that right, it makes every decision after it a lot clearer. It keeps the scope from exploding into this giant unknown abyss of overwhelm for all of us. Discovery tells you which area that is. And then came the moment that changed the entire build. I had asked about calendar access. No shared calendar integration existed between the departments. Social team and PR team, two teams running campaigns for the same clients, had no way to see each other's timelines. They'd been working around it for so long, they'd stopped seeing it as a problem. It was just how things were. Two teams, same clients, no shared calendar. Every week, people spending energy figuring out what the other department was doing. There's a psychologist named Csikszentmihalyi who studied what lets people do their best work, and he called it flow. And I had to get his name right because as someone with a very complicated last name, I feel that. One of the things he found, flow requires clear goals and unambiguous feedback. When those items are missing, people don't slow down. They get stuck navigating confusion instead of doing the work they were hired to do. And that's what Discovery removed at that agency. It wasn't a missing calendar. It was the invisible friction that was happening underneath it. Discovery isn't a delay. It's where every decision gets made before you touch building a single database. The week before the build isn't prep, it is the build. Once I had the full picture, the actual building took weeks, not months. And the moment I knew it worked wasn't when I finished. It was 3 words from someone on the team. And I'll get to that. Once Discovery was done, the build moved fast. The HQ workspace, task management, master calendar, department, tags, all of it, built in a few weeks. But here's what made it really fast. I wasn't making decisions anymore. Discovery had already made them. Every database, every view, every connection had a reason behind it because I had already seen how this team actually worked. There was one feature that brought it all together. The shared calendar, the thing that didn't exist before Discovery uncovered the gap. I built a one-click button, add to master calendar. Social could post to it, PR could post to it, and for the first time, both teams could see each other's timelines in one place. And that button took me minutes to build. Minutes! But it could only exist because of the Discovery week. Without knowing about the silo, I never would have designed for it. And when I showed it to the team, the reaction was immediate. Somebody looked up at the camera and said, "This is magic." 3 words. 3 words. And they weren't about the button. They were about what it felt like to have the thing they didn't know they were missing. And that's what Discovery gives you and me. Not a prettier system or a faster build, the right build. The one your team couldn't ask for because they couldn't see the problem from inside it. This matters more now than ever. AI can automate your workflows, build databases for you, connect all these systems, but it amplifies whatever you give it. Clear structure, AI can make it powerful. Chaos, AI makes it messier, faster. Discovery is what gives it something solid to build on top of. The week before the build is the whole job. Everything after it is just execution. If you take one thing from this, the best system you'll ever build for your team isn't the one with the most databases or the cleanest automations. It's the one designed so work flows for your team. Not the way you think they might work, but the way they actually do. What do they look for? How do they keep what they need close at hand? And what friction are they experiencing? If you want to start answering those questions yourself, I made a free self-audit checklist. It walks you through the same kinds of questions I start with every discovery session, so you can see what your team actually needs before you build anything new. The link is in the description below. Discovery tells you what to build, but getting your team to actually use it, now that's a whole different challenge. And that's what we're getting into next video. So, hope to see you there.